everybody, it's JimJ 1911. I am empty, no magazine in my gun today. We are at Gateway Gun Club in Bridgeton, Missouri, and my friend Les has loaned me a Coonan 357. Now, here's what's cool about this. I've never even gotten to shoot a 357 before, so this is going to be really fun. And I'm noticing that, you know, there are a few differences in this 1911 style gun. We do have a little bit different trigger. Of course, this is broader or wider here from front to back, so it will accommodate the 357 cartridge. You know, a traditional 1911 being chambered in 45 ACP, of course, those cartridges are a little bit shorter, so we have to accommodate a longer cartridge, and so that's why this is a little bit bigger. So I'm going to shoot this for a little bit. I've been warned about, you know, this is a little bit heavier to shoot. So I'm very excited to give it a try. And I'm also going to talk a little bit during the video, and then we'll be ending this video with some bench time, and we will give a little more about the stats and the history and my thoughts on the gun. So let's get shooting. All right, so get that loaded, goes in pretty easily. Okay, here we go. Should be fun. Ooh, man, I hit that skeleton right in the middle. Wasn't as bad as I was expecting it to be. Nice. You know, I'm not too displeased. That was not bad. So let's see here, make sure we're empty. Yep. So these magazines hold 7 rounds, and I am just loading 5 in each magazine. So, wow, you know, you saw my skeleton in the opening shot. If I knew biology a little bit better and knew organs, I'd be able to say what I hit. I hit the little pink thing, whatever the pink thing is. So all my shots went into his pink thing. So let's see if we can hit there some more. I actually made the target move. Wow. Well, that's fun. All right, I'm gonna pull my target in, and I'm gonna give it a look, and we're gonna see what we were hitting. But yeah, that was pretty fun, actually. We'll throw a few more rounds through it, and then we're gonna head back to the bench, and I'll give you some thoughts about this. All right, 5 more rounds through this. This is actually a pretty fun gun to shoot, not gonna lie. Feel pretty powerful. There we go. 5 more rounds through my skeleton. Yep, that's a pretty fun gun to shoot, you know. I've been wanting to shoot a Coonan for a while, and finally got to do it. And so we're gonna head back to the bench, and we are going to throw some pictures into this video for you. We're gonna talk a little bit about it so you can get a closer look And I can't wait to hear from you guys what you think about this Coonan, or if you've even gotten to shoot one. So let's go back to the bench. All right, we are back from the range. I got to shoot this awesome Coonan 357. I've had a lot of subscribers saying, hey, you know, we'd love to see you shoot a Coonan. And fortunately for me, my friend Les had one. I said, can I borrow that? And of course he said yes. So let's talk a little bit about the specs on this baby. So this has a 5-inch barrel. The overall length of this is 8.3 inches and the height is 5.6 inches. The width is 1.3 inches and it weighs 42 ounces. That's pretty hefty, 42 ounces. Without being loaded. If it's fully loaded, it weighs 48 ounces. So nice heavy gun. It MSRP's at about $12.49. So for the low price of $1,249, you could pick up this Coonan. Now I will say that it's actually a pretty cool story about this that I'll give you before we go into it more. So Les told me that when he got this, it was actually a rental gun at a gun range. And he said he didn't think it got shot very much because not a lot of people are like, hey, we want to go out and shoot a 357 just for fun. So he said he found it in really good condition, really great condition, and for a really great price. So he snatched it up. And I just thought that was cool because that's pretty... I don't know, I guess pretty indicative of how easy it is to find a gun for a great price if you have the patience to look for it. So they're out there and you just have to look. So, you know, if there's something that you're really looking for, just keep your eyes open. So let's get back to the gun itself. So first of all, I am going to tell you we are empty, no magazine, and we're empty, so we're safe. The trigger, we did weigh the trigger, and with a 5-pull average, the trigger weight was 3 pounds, 4 ounces. And this trigger is a little bit different because it does have what they call a 2-stage trigger. And before I went and shot this gun, I did a little bit of reading up on it. And unlike the traditional 1911 trigger, this trigger is more like it's hinged. So it's actually, it swings rather than pulls straight back like a 1911 traditionally would. So anyway, a little bit about the history of how this gun came to be. So a guy by the name of Dan Coonan, back in the 1970s when he was in college, he designed this gun. And he, you know, was into it for a while, and then he ended up selling his business, and through a series of events, the business got sold, changed hands a couple of times, ended up going bankrupt. And it actually dissolved in 1998. Well, in 2009, Dan Coonan decided he was going to venture into this again. And he had met a guy named Dave Neville because Dave's daughter and Dan's daughter went to school together. So the two of them decided to partner up and open this company back up again. And they joined a guy named Gordy Davis in 2009, and they started Coonan Incorporated. Now, Coonan Incorporated is actually located in Blaine, Minnesota. So they are still in business. These guns are still in production today. So anyway, they decided, you know what, we're going to just basically reintroduce this Coonan 357, and they decided to call it the Classic. So it's officially the Coonan 357 Mag Classic. It does have a full-length dust cover, so, you know, it helps add to that weight. It's really nice heavy gun. I love my heavy guns. This is a nice heavy one, wonderfully heavy to shoot. The grip, so this is what's really interesting. And I had heard a lot of people say, well, you know, I hope you're ready because you have smaller hands. This grip, if you notice, this grip right here is about 2.2 inches, okay? And it's wider than your traditional 1911. So you can see we're empty. I do have my 1911 chambered in 45 ACP here just to kind of give you a little bit of an idea for size comparison. So here are these two guns. You can see that it's a little bit wider. This grip is a little bit wider than this 45 ACP. And you know that's because 357 mag cartridges are longer than 45 ACP cartridges. They're very similar otherwise, except for the trigger that we talked about. So you can see that we've got the straight back trigger for the 1911, the 45 ACP 1911. So this 1911 style gun, of course, has this different trigger that kind of swings rather than pull straight back. So speaking of the cartridges, I thought this was kind of cool because I can show you. So here are the two magazines. Okay, so this is my 45 ACP magazine for my SIG, and behind it is the Coonan mag. Okay, you can see how much longer that is. And one thing that they had noticed was that when you have rimmed center fire cartridges, they don't feed well in box magazines. So they designed their cartridges to make they designed their magazines to make the cartridges so that they would stagger when they stacked, so that every rim would be in front of the rim below it. And it's just kind of cool. It's a cool concept because it's like, you know, really takes care of that problem. And we didn't have any feed issues. When we shot this gun, there were no feed issues at all. So I thought it was really funny because when I did my research on this gun, I noticed that some of Coonan's ads say, looking for your first pistol, this isn't it. And I thought, well, yeah, that's probably true because, you know, if somebody were to shoot this as their very first gun, I'm not sure that they'd want to continue shooting. But, you know, I think everybody was watching when I took this out on the range to shoot it for the first time. And I didn't see anybody else shoot it first. I just shot it, and, you know, I was expecting it to have a little more, I don't know, recoil to it. It wasn't bad. It was actually really, really fun to shoot. I didn't have any trouble with my grip, you know, being able to fit that grip in my hand. It was just really fun to shoot, and I enjoyed shooting it. You know, yeah, it feels like a pretty big, hefty gun, but I think that's why they say this is a great gun for, you know, a lot of things. It's very universal. You can use it for home defense, you can use it for hunting, all kinds of things, because it definitely gets the job done. Another thing I noticed when I was shooting with this was that, you know, my holes in my paper target were perfectly round. It almost looked like I was shooting a wad cutter. They were so perfectly punched. So I think that's just really, you know, speaks to the amount of power that's behind it. And speaking of that, we didn't get this on video, but as I was shooting, something really cool happened I'd never had happen before. The target actually was waving in midair because the muzzle blast was so strong from my gun. I had my target out at 7 yards, and my muzzle blast must have been pretty impactful because there were 3 shots right in a row where my target just did this. And so somebody that was watching said, after we were done recording, they said, I thought maybe something hit the target at first, like other than the bullet. But then when it kept happening, I realized that it was just, you know, part of the shot. So I wish we could have gotten that on camera, but we had no idea it was going to happen, and we didn't have a camera on the target at the time, but it was really cool to see. So I would love to hear from you. If you have a Coonan 357 or if you've gotten to shoot one, drop it in the comments below because this is a really fun gun. I don't know. I'm always adding guns to my wish list and I would definitely pick one of these up. I mean, it's just a lot of fun to shoot. You know, kind of expensive to shoot, but it's the ammo. I don't know. I think it's worth it. Probably not something I'd go out and shoot every time at the range, but it's definitely one of those things to, you know, put into your battery. So anyway, I'd love to hear from you. Make sure you hit like and subscribe on this video and tell your friends and family about it. We still have our 5,000 subscriber drawing. And if you are one of the first 5,000 subscribers, you will automatically be entered into our drawing for a Dillon RL 550C reloading press. And there is no purchase necessary. YouTube is not affiliated with this contest in any way. It's just JimJ 1911 and Full Circle Reloading Shop in St. Charles, Missouri. So drop a comment below, and I look forward to talking to you all again soon.